I just wasn't happy.
If she could hide it so well, then others might also.
I didn't really know what depression was, but I knew that I was really sad.
She just masked it, which I think a lot of people do. It's just, I don't know. I don't think she really wanted people to know.
I could count on her for anything.
You can die from this.
I've always been the goofball of the family, and everyone knows that. Everyone knows I'm the outgoing one, and no one ever sees me hurting, and no one ever sees me in that a state of being upset. And so I'm really good at hiding things, and I just know that if I were to go to them on my own, that my parents would not take me seriously, or my friends wouldn't take me seriously.
No one I'd known had ever had depression, so they couldn't be like, yeah, I know what that's like. They were just kind of like, well, I don't really know how to help you or anything. And so I felt really alone.
I mean, it's just tough. Like, even on my grandma, she had always had a bad heart, and a couple months after my mom committed suicide, she had another heart attack. Didn't make it through.
You need to tell someone because you just need that motivation to get help that you need. And sometimes it just takes that extra push or that extra person telling you you really need help. It's not a bad thing. It's not something you should be afraid of or ashamed of to have a mental illness.
It took a lot for me to send that email. I had typed that email and stared at it and was like, I really struggled with actually pushing the send button to Mrs. Danford, because I was like, maybe I don't have a problem. Maybe I'm just being a big baby about this. Maybe, you know, I'm just being too sensitive. I'm crying a lot, but, you know, I'm just being sensitive. And you know, I'm being a girl, you know. And so I struggled with sending that email to Mrs. Danford. So when she actually called me into her office the next day and, you know, sat me down and said, you know, this is a problem. I think you need help.
I don't want her to put on that face of, I'm fine now, because you don't just pour out something and then go, okay, no, I'm fine. And that was my fear, that she would do that. And I knew that I had to get mom and dad involved.
I mean, I think she just masked it, which I think a lot of people do. It's just, I don't know. I don't think she really wanted people to know that she had depression or anything.
My mom had asked me kind of why. She had asked me the question why I thought I was depressed, and I didn't have an answer. And I knew exactly that she was going to ask that exact question, and it's frustrating not knowing why.
The first time I'd ever had depression, I didn't really know what it was because I was really young. I was in 6th grade and I was 11. I didn't really know what depression was, but I knew that I was really sad, and I thought about suicide a lot because I got bullied really bad by people who I thought were like my friends. The biggest thing I did was, I don't know, I was really bad in the beginning about trying to find like coping mechanisms and everything like that. I think trying to talk to people was really hard for me, and I just kind of kept it all in, and I didn't really talk to anyone. And so the thing I really turned to was self-harm and cutting myself. And that was, like I said, not a good coping mechanism, and it was really self-destructive.
I don't think it's a good thing to hide it just because you're sitting there with all those thoughts by yourself, and that's just putting so much doubt in your head.
I think me and Jane have kind of helped each other out a lot recently within the past few years. Jane is my best friend, and I have helped her out a lot, and I know she's helped me through a lot. I have struggled with some things, and I know she has too, and I think that our relationship is not based on that, but we really have grown through helping each other.
I think the best thing you can do is just be there. Don't let up, don't give up. Just let them know they're not alone, because they can feel alone even if they're surrounded by friends. And as long as they know somebody's always there for them, that definitely helps.
I think friends can can, sometimes step out of themselves and kind of see how their friend's doing. If their friend isn't wanting to go out and do the things that they want to do, or they're talking that they're not sleeping very much, or you see them not eating much, or they're late to school again, or those things are real big red flags for there's something going on in their friend's life.
There's people that care about you that you're going to affect more than yourself. And it's not going to just be a week or a month or a year that they're going to be still hurting. It's going to be a lifelong thing.
I think just seeing her in the hospital bed and just seeing her hurting, and just that she took those pills and everything, that I just wish that, I think that was the initial, I knew that she was hurting, so therefore, since she's like my other half and everything, that it made me hurt, because to know that she was upset and everything. At first I was scared, but I realized that our friendship has been through like ups and downs, and that I think growing up with her and everything like that, I think that that's what I realized, I could count on her for anything.
I just knew from then that they were just going to all be there really to support me, and they have been there from day one to support me, and I'm so glad that I told them, because they all have just been nonstop support.
It just, to anyone else, it sounds crazy and weird, like why would you ever want to cut yourself? Why would seeing cuts on yourself ever make you feel better? That's so weird, but it's hard to describe that feeling that you get when you see that, because it just makes you, I don't know, it's really hard to describe. Like when I would cut myself, it would make me feel like I was better for a second. I would feel happier for a second, which made me never want to stop again, because I would have temporary relief from my sadness. But then an hour later, I'd be like, why would I do that? That's so terrible, And so then I would just be right back where I started.
We need to step up as people to kind of make this more aware, because it is almost like a cancer or something like that, but people don't take it as serious as other illnesses, when really it can have the same effect as someone ending their life. So we need, and people look at people with depression as like outcasts, and if they want to go to counseling, and they kind of make fun of them, deter them from that, it's just making everything worse.
If you don't talk about it, then the stigma stays. But if we can actually have conversations or presentations about the stigma and about where that comes from, and really what we can do to help each other and lift each other up, I think people want to do the right thing.
Mental illness is a real thing, and it's not fake, it's not just made up, it's just as real as any physical illness. It's just as real as anything that happens to you that you have to go to the hospital for, that you need medication for, and people will tell you that it's all in your head, and that you're making it all up, and that it'll go away if you just be happy. Well, if I wanted to be happy, I would be happy, trust me. I would make myself happy in a second, but I can't do that.
I will hear someone say, I think they just want attention. Well, and possibly so. Attention that they are in huge pain and they hurt and they can't make it stop, and they've tried everything they can to make it stop, and it continues to grow, and they need someone to help them, and they don't know how to ask for it.
I think the biggest thing to remember is people always say, don't worry about your problems, because there are other people that are suffering more than you are. But just because other people have it worse than you doesn't mean that your problems are any less important.
People deal with things in a different way.
It used to just really drive me crazy when people would say, I know what you're going through. No one knows what you're going through. people would, say, I really understand, you're just really not happy. And they don't understand. And you won't understand until you go through it. And even then, no one understands any one person's depression. Everyone's suffering is different.
Having someone to talk to, I think, is what really helps. She is one of the only people, actually, probably is the only person who understands not exactly what I'm going through, but like how to help me. And I know I don't exactly know what she's going through, but I know that I can help her. And she's one of my only friends who understands, and she knows exactly what to say. And my parents don't, they don't really know what to say either. So it really helps having her there to talk to and having her help me get through my rough patches, or, vice versa.
Don't try so hard to understand it yourself. Just focus on helping them. Don't get frustrated when you can't understand, when you can't get through to them, because they can't help it and neither can you. So all you can do is always be there.
The truth will set you free. This is your new beginning. You're doing